Hi, how are you? So good to see you. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Lifestyle. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. I just really needed to talk to somebody, and I know you're listening, right? Yeah, after all, my podcast and coffee seem to go hand in hand, don't they? Anyway, what comes first? It's just one of those curious, redundant, rhetorical, who knows, questions. Are you accepting of what you need to do? Have you ever said you are desperate to change what's going on with your food because it spills into every area of your life? And you use the word desperate? Are you accepting that it's going to mean changing a lot? Sometimes in AA, the wisdom goes, when you quit drinking, all you have to do is quit drinking and change everything else. And life will be easy. Well, sometimes, we talk so casual here about it because, like, when somebody like me is talking, it's from that being here for a while as if it's the easiest thing in the world. And for some people, no matter how awful they feel before they are fully immersed, there's a lot of awfulness and desperation and self-loathing and all of that icky stuff that, like, once you're in it and you've been doing it for a while, you tend to forget those times when it's like, oh, I just don't know how I'm going to do it, but, yet, wah. And it takes a while. Being really desperate, I know that feeling. There's, we all have moments in our lives, but really when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And as some of you learned in my 3 podcasts of my journey from fat little girl to Weight Watchers to keto, under 20 to now a keto lifestyle, allowing a few more veggies, it's not a straight road. There are curves, there are hills, there are ruts, and sometimes a rut is the hardest thing to work out of. And you can feel desperate and self-loathing and all kinds of negative things and still be in that, choose the rut. Because sometimes the familiar is easier than just, it feels so. Sometimes I've gotten comments from people where I'm researching keto and I'm planning on beginning, and they put a date out of like 3 weeks from now. And it's like, well, I guess I have a blurse. What's a blurse? A blurse is a blessing and a curse. And my blurse is logical and pragmatic. So when I hear that somebody is circling the pool before they dive in, I'm one of those jump and get it over with. That's just me. Other people, if they put their toe in the water, like that to me would be somebody that is now aware that they are working towards getting into ketosis, becoming fat adapted. So they have a tracker and they're beginning to see how many carbs they have in a regular day of eating. And of course, if you're switching over from Weight Watchers to keto and you get one of the apps that's out there free or at a cost, like my chronometer is $35 a year, they have a free version, but I like this one and I was willing to pony up the $35. So you can see how many carbs you're having. Weight Watchers doesn't give you that clue. It's all this scientific thing and just the points. So if you're coming from that background, it's a whole head switch too. And so you start putting in, let's just say, your regular Weight Watchers food, because you want to stop paying $20 a month. Have you had enough of that yet? Or $40 to have online and the weigh-in? Multiply that by 12 and see, would that help towards a new wardrobe? Yeah, the new wardrobe you'll need once you're doing keto. Or just to invest in keto butter. keto gold, Kerrygold butter, and coconut oil or grass-fed things, right? You'll need the money for that initially, until you see that it doesn't cost more to be on keto at all, really. So anyway, so seeing what you're having, like say, so you're coming out of Weight Watchers and you've been having your 42 smart points or whatever they're called now. I think they're called smart points. And you just put in those portions into a different tracker and you can see how many carbs you're having. Just try it on. So it's like maybe you were having 80 carbs. Well, if you're having the free fruit that I was having, maybe you're having 300 to 400 carbs a day. But you didn't know that before because it's just points. Somebody else is doing the figuring behind the scenes while they take your money and fly their jets to Nantucket. Did I say that? I'm so bitter. Anyway, so you begin to see, so say you did put in all the fruits and the little bread items and Weight Watcher candies and novelty items and desserts and things like that. You put all of that in and you see, say, low end, 200 carbs per day. And say, well, okay, I'm going to start weaning myself, right? So maybe going from 200 to 100 and taking maybe 2 weeks to do that. I don't know. I wouldn't have the patience. I would just say, dive in. The water is warm. Get going. But for those of you that need to do the toe in the water thing and swirl it around and maybe your hand in the water, maybe sitting on the side of the pool and put both of your feet in up to your knees, things like that, or start in the shallow end, walking in. I don't know. I'm more, let's just get this party going, right? And so, because I want to. And so I remember when I joined Weight Watchers, they had that, I don't know, a 2-week thing that you were supposed to do, cutting down. And I can't even remember what the name of it was. And no, I just immediately started on the points. And I'm sure they would have tissed if I went back again, but I never went back again. I just did the online tracker and the Weight Watcher Facebook pages. And I did that for 17 months. Excuse me. And I lost a number of pounds, and that just stayed there. So that's when I switched over to low carb, high fat, gave up the fruits, the grains, the sugar, and the journey towards keto under 20 began. So for some of us, we need to go slow. For others of us, we are comfortable with fully dunking ourselves. Let's just get the baptism. Let's just get it going. I know there's going to be withdrawal. I know there's going to be some difficulties, maybe some keto flu. But I've watched some keto websites that talk about the keto flu. Even here, I've talked about it. What I made sure I had was plenty of fat, meaning olive oil, coconut oil, butter, and nut butters for fats and butter, and then making sure I had enough of the electrolytes. And the electrolytes are as simple as potassium, sodium, magnesium. You can take them in supplement form. You can go and buy a smart water or two, even though you don't know what might be in that smart water or the name brand smart water or other types of waters. But you can get enough electrolytes, and you can buy somebody's product that you see on the website, or you can go onto Amazon and look up electrolytes. And I was doing Dr. Price's, and then it got too sweet for me because it has stevia in it. And I am fully savory and salt adapted with my fat adapted. So I don't want sweet anymore. To me, sweet would be a tablespoon of a nut butter, which I also haven't had for months and months and months. So anyway, so some people dive in, other people, circle around the pool and gather more evidence. Meanwhile, they might be still eating the standard American diet and not questioning parts about that. So hopefully, if that's you, you will come to question it after you get away from it far enough down the road to see what our government is calling safe for us to eat. And you'll watch enough doctor podcasts to be convinced that you don't have to have a carbohydrate to be able to exist in this world, just having enough veggies. So anyway, I'm pragmatic and logical, so I figured, well, I've seen enough of this, I'm going to try it. You know, you can always opt out, right? It's like everything in life. You can quit a job, you can get divorced, you can sell your car that's got a, you know, clunk, clunk, clunk to it. You can opt out of any food plan that just doesn't feel right to you. You can go back to something that was safe, even if it wasn't helping you lose. You can try something else, like I see people doing the HCG thing where they do 500 calories a day and injections. That's not my style. I like my food. So, if you're tuned in here, it's because you want a keto lifestyle, I'm assuming, or you're doing your research. But the only thing scientific here is me regurgitating what doctors say. So, I'm not a trained specialist. I've just had a lot of experience in my own body, like 67 years worth of my own body. And so I've learned what works for me, and I share it here. And in fact, anybody's welcome to share here. Isn't that cool? We can all comment what works for us. And so the courage of convictions is a place where you get with confidence of something like a food plan that works for you, a lifestyle of a food plan, not just a diet to get you to fit into something, to look good, the diet, the divorce revenge diet, something like that. No, this is a lifestyle where your health comes into play, especially if you're an older person and you want to make changes in those markers and you don't want the doctor to say, we need to have a talk. Your lab work came back. You don't want that. So keto, I know, has helped me in that area. Anyway, this has been Sarah. Pearls of wisdom and food. Pick it and go with it and trust the process. You may be amazed before you are even a few months into it. So, keto, under 20 carbs for at least the first 6 months before you start thinking of dabbling. And you know, the funny part is the longer you're on keto, doing it without dabbling, the more you're going to be on keto without dabbling, because suddenly it's not worth it to dabble. Does that make sense? It does to me. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Have a wonderful day, my pickles. Bye-bye for now.